Shalom, welcome to this week's news update. I'm coming to you from Washington, D.C., where in the background, if you can tell through the windows behind me, is the United States Capitol. This week we're going to be obviously starting with Iran, as until Iran's nuclear aspirations are stopped, they continue to be the greatest threat to the United States and to Israel. Let's talk about first the various military exercises that have been occurring in the Strait of Hormuz. As we've explained, the Strait of Hormuz is where 1/6 of the world's oil supply goes through on its way to global markets. Iran has threatened that if sanctions are heavy enough, and of course if they are attacked, they will close the Strait of Hormuz, ensuring the fact that the world oil markets collapse and that gas prices rise to unfathomable levels. The United States continuously keeps ships close in the Persian Gulf, close to the Strait of Hormuz. Iran staged 10 days of naval exercises last week, ensuring that the Americans left the Persian Gulf to make sure that no stray missiles hit them, and starting an international conflict between Iran and the United States. The Iranians fired all types of missiles, including long-range missiles, which some experts say that their results were exaggerated, but they came out claiming that they have incredible success and are able to hit both U.S. forces in the Middle East and Israel directly with these long-range missiles. Tension is high as Israel just announced and the United States announced that they too will be conducting military exercises in the Gulf near the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran then in response announced that they will be starting even newer exercises in the Strait of Hormuz. All this seems to be just a bunch of people asking for trouble, as any stray bullet or any stray missile could very well start an international conflict and start a war that we're all trying to avoid. What we are looking for sanctions to work, and we're looking for crippling sanctions to either change the regime in Iran or change the approach that the Iranians are taking. Either of those will work, and Danny Ayalon, a member of the Israeli Knesset, has announced that Iranian sanctions are working, that their economy is crippling, and in fact, the Iranian currency has lost tremendous value since the sanctions have started, and that's what we're looking for. Not stoppable. It seems Ahmadinejad is going on a tour of Latin America, visiting his good friend Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, and looking to bolster up support and looking to increase his economic advantage in the world, even in the face of sanctions. Turning our attention to Egypt, we find that the elections are heading in a worrisome position for the United States and Israel, as the Muslim Brotherhood seems to be winning 2/3 of all elections in Egypt, and that's going to spell troubles. The Muslim Brotherhood are the founders of Hamas. They are obviously not a pro-Western, pro-Israel type of approach to government. At the same time, they have announced that they will keep and hold by the treaty that between Egypt and Israel, which is very, very good news. Those came out of secret talks between the United States and the Muslim Brotherhood in the past couple of weeks. The strong Israel-U.S. relationship has tremendous advantages to Israel's security, one of which is the United States' ability to talk to the Muslim Brotherhood. Of course, the Muslim Brotherhood, if they do take control of Egypt, which it looks like they will, has a tremendous they have a tremendous interest in keeping up the United States-Israel relationship, because the United States supports Egypt with $1.5 billion in military aid a year, something that the Muslim Brotherhood would never be able to come up with on their own, and ensures Egypt's security. Lastly, the peace process seems to be taking a turn for the better, although no one is too optimistic, as meetings were conducted in Jordan last Tuesday night and promised to hold new meetings this week. You'll have to stay tuned to see what will happen. Please read the cheat sheet that accompanies this email. All the best. Shalom.